Okay, so the software has many functions, but then we'll start with the products and then we'll move to the others. Okay, so for the products, you can import some of the products or you can add it manually. Okay, so when you click on import, it will open a page for you to import. So you just browse the import file and then you import it. Before that, you have to download the template. So you click on download template file and then you fill it. So this is how the template looks like. Okay, so it has the name, the unit, the category, and then so you go through it and then you fill the details that you have. So maybe the product name and then the quantity and all that. You can just fill it, and then when you're done, you import it. So you just click on the file and then you click on submit and then it will import it. So I imported a few, and this is how it looks like. Okay, so you give it the product name, the location, the unit price, the selling price, and then the quantity I have in stock. Okay, so we have categories and then we have units. So this is where you define all the categories in the software. So it depends on the products that you sell. If you sell clothes, then you probably men clothes, women clothes, or kids. And if you sell something different too, you can have different categories. So if maybe you sell provisions or whatever you sell, I'm sure there's a category for it. So that you can enter all the categories here. So you click on add category, and then you enter the category and then you save. Okay, and then you can enter the units too. So you can sell in boxes, pieces, you can sell in kilograms, whatever unit it is, if in dozens or in cartons, whatever units, you can just add all of them here and then you save. Okay, and then variations too. So you see that there are certain products that vary. So let's say maybe you are buying a shoe. It can vary by size, it can vary by color. So you can define all the variations here, and then when you are adding a product that has variation, you just select the variation and then you enter the details. So let me try with one product and then you see how it looks like. Okay, so the minimum quantity for which the system is supposed to alert you. So let's say maybe you have 1,000 pieces of a product, and then you want the system to alert you when it gets to like 10, so that you know that you are running out of stock. That's what the alert is used for. Okay. And you scroll down and then here you enter the purchase price. So let me say I bought it for 3,000 Ghana cedis, and I'm selling it for 5,000. Then you click on save and add selling price group. Okay, so let's say maybe I sell at a retail and a wholesale price. So for the retail, this is the selling price. For the wholesale, like I'll say maybe I'm selling for 4,500. And then I'll say save and add opening stock. So the opening stock is the quantity you are starting the software with. So maybe you already have a certain number of the product in stock. You just enter the number here. So let's say we have 50 of the iPads. I just enter 50 and then I save. Okay, so there's it. It has been added. So I bought it for 3,000, I'm selling it for 5,000, and I have 50 pieces of it. Okay, so now let's say I want to add a product that has variation. So I'll click on add product. Then I'll say Adidas shoe. So ADS. So please. Okay, but then this time around, this product is a variable product. Okay, so I've selected the variation, and I'm saying that I want to use the color. So let's say color. Okay, so green. So this is how much. This is the SKU for the green. So I add the ADG green. I bought it for 200, and I'm selling it for 450. Okay, it's ADW. Okay, then yeah. Okay, so now I have all the variations added. Then I click on save and add opening stock. Okay, so here it will ask me to enter the quantity for each variation. So I can say that for the green Adidas I have maybe 10. For the white one I have like 5. And then for the black one I have maybe 20 in stock, and then I save it. Okay, so for this it has given me the sum total of the stock, but when I click on it will pop up and then give me the individual quantities for each product. So I think for Adidas green we have 10 pieces, we have 5 pieces for Adidas color white, and then we have 20 pieces for Adidas color black. Okay, so let me try and make a sale for any of the products. So I'll try with the first product I created. But then in this case I selected the retail price and then I used it. So let's say maybe a customer comes and they are buying it wholesale. I just have to change the price type to wholesale, and then I look for the product. Okay, so now in this case it's using the wholesale price. Then I can sell to the customer using the wholesale price. So I click on collect payments, and then here I enter how much the customer is paying, and then I finalize the payments. Okay, so you click on finalize. A receipt for you to print out. Okay, so now let's go back to the main admin dashboard. Okay, so when you go to list products and then you list the products, it also has a stock report, so you can click on the stock report. Then when it opens it will the current stock for each product. Then you can click on each product to show the product stock history, so then you can tell what happened to the product. So maybe the initial quantity, what sale happened, if there was a stock transfer, if there was a purchase, and then if there was a sale. So let's look at one for the iPad. Okay, so here it tells you that we had an opening stock of 50, so it shows plus 50. Then we have a sale, which is -1. So now we have a new quantity, which is 49. Okay, so if we had added a stock transfer or any other thing, it would have shown here, and it will give us the reference number. So in case we want to go and search in the list, we can just copy the reference number and then go to sales and then look for it. So I can even just copy it from here, and then I go to sales. Okay, so it's showing me the sale. This is the sale. I can just click on it and then view. I can just view the sale, and then this can be an invoice that you can also print. Okay, so it's telling me that I sold the iPad. It's telling me the date I sold it, the invoice number, the customer I sold it to, and then who sold it. So Mr. John Smith is the one who made the sale. If it's one of your shopkeepers or cashiers, their name will show there. So here it shows the total paid, the amount you're supposed to pay, the total paid, and if there's any amount remaining, it will also show there. Okay, so I know there are certain customers that use credit sales. So let me explain that part too. Okay, so let's say maybe we are adding customers, and maybe the customers we are adding, some of them already owe. So I'll come to maybe customers here. And here to list all the customers that I've already added. If you need to add more customers, you just click on the add button and it will open a form for you to fill. So you check whether it's an individual or a business. So let's say the customer is an individual. You fill the first name, the last name, and then you add the other details. So here there's something like opening balance. So let's say maybe this particular customer you're adding owes a certain amount. So you can add it and then you add it here and then you save it. In this case, we have a customer who owes 50,000, meaning that we've made a sale to them and they owe 50,000 already. So assuming this customer wants to come and pay the amounts they owe, it's not as if they are buying anything, but they've come and pay the amounts they owe. I'll just come to the POS interface. And then I search for that particular customer. So Kojointi. So I'll click on Kojointi. And then over here it tells you that this customer due is 50,000. That means this customer owes 50,000. And I want to collect a certain, maybe they are coming to make a payment. So I just click on that. And now I say that, okay, out of the 50,000, they are now paying 30,000. Okay, so now I've added it. I can go back to the, and even before I go, I think over here it's even showing already, showing now it's 20,000. So I'll go back and then go back to their ledger so that I can check what exactly is happening. Okay, so I click on format 3, and here it tells me that their opening balance is 50,000, and then the total amount they paid is 30,000. So now they have a balance due of 20,000. Here it tells me when they made the payment. So it says they made it on the 12th of June 2026, and then it tells me how much they paid. So they paid 30,000, and then now the balance is 20,000. Okay. And it's telling me that it's an advance payment, meaning that they didn't buy something, but then they just came to make payment for what they were owing. So it's mostly used for customers that owe you. So let's say maybe they've been buying from you and then now you're using the software, you need to keep records of those. You can use this site to keep that record and then be collecting your money. And then also there's another part where a customer comes to buy something and then they are buying it on credit. So let's go back to the POS interface. So I'll say that same Kojointi came to buy something. So let's say maybe they came to buy. So first, let me look for that customer. So, and then let's say that they came to buy an Adidas shoe. So they bought a black one. Okay. So I'll say collect payments. Now, in collecting the payment, let's say they also bought that one on credit, they didn't pay for it, or maybe they paid half. But in this case, let me put 0 because okay, so they bought this one too on credit. So let me go back to the sales. Okay, so I'm listing all the sales. Okay, so here it's telling me that Kojo Inti bought something, and then this is the amount they paid. This is the amount they were supposed to pay, but they didn't pay anything. They paid 0. So now they have a due of 450. Okay, so I'll just click on it. Okay, so this is it. And the payment status is due, meaning that they've not paid anything for it. Okay, so assuming this customer has come maybe a day after or any other day to come and pay, all I have to do is just click on action for that particular sale, and now I'll come and say add payment. And then let's say that the next day they came to pay an amount, so maybe they paid 250. So then I'll save it. Okay, so now it's showing me that the customer has now come to pay 250, and now they are left with a balance of 200 to pay later. But right now we want to go and check the ledger for Kojo Inti to see what happened. Okay, so with this ledger it shows that the opening balance was 50,000, and they have an invoice which is 450, and then it goes to break down the payments. So with the 50,000 we made a cash payment of 30,000 to clear the initial debt, so it's now left to 20,000, and now we bought another thing on credit for 450. So it added it to the balance that was left, which is 20,000 and 450, and then now they made a payment of 250. So now we have 20,000 and 200 as the current balance left. So now this customer has an initial balance left to clear, and then now they came to do another credit again. So now we want to go and clear what is left in the account, so that now we'll say that they've settled everything. So then we are going to pay 20,000. So we'll go back to the POS interface. Okay. Okay, so now it has changed. The status of the sale has changed to now paid. I mean, they've settled everything. Let's go back to their ledger again, and let's go and check if it's now reflecting that they don't owe anything in the software. Okay, so I think right now it's showing that they've made payments, and now they don't have a balance left, meaning that everything has been settled. Okay, so let's say your credit customer has come in and then they've settled everything, then you can just use this side to check their payments. I think we did all of it today, so it's showing today's date, but if they had done it on separate days, it would have shown each one, and it tells you the type 2 here, so you can tell that it's an opening balance here. The type of transaction is payment. Here is a sale, and then there's a payment, and then a payment again, and then it gives you whether it's a debit or credit. Yeah, so with this you can keep tracking some of the payments for your customers and when they made it and all that. And you can come to payments too, and I think here too it also give you details about it. It will give you the reference number and then the amount and all that, and then the dates as well. Okay, so that's buy on credits. The ones who pay for it, you can also just come to all sales and then you have your details there. It has a filter too, where you can just click on the filter and then you can narrow it down. So let's say I have multiple business locations and I want to narrow it down by just that location. I can just use the filters to do it. If I want it by a specific customer, I can just do that. So let's say I just want all sales for Kojo. I'll just click on it and then it will show. If I want all paid or due or partial payments, I just click on it. Those that are overdue, I can just click on it and then it will show. Now I can come to date range and then do it for maybe a month, a year, or any range. Maybe if I want it for within a period, I'll just select the range, and then here I can select where from which date to which date. Yeah, and then I can also select the payment methods. So we have different payment methods here that you can use. Okay, so at the sales tool, you can do drafts. So let's say maybe a draft is just a sale that hasn't been made. So you can just, maybe somebody's buying something and they've not really bought it fully. You can just do a draft, put it there. When they come and then they are making payment or making the sale, then you just use the draft for them. You can do quotations, and then you can also return sales. So maybe somebody has come and then maybe they bought something, they are returning it. So you just click on action and then sell return. So it will open the form, and then let's say that maybe they bought 5 items and they are returning 3. You can just enter, maybe they bought 5 here, and then so you just enter the quantity they are returning. It will do the deduction, and then it will credit your stock back, and then it will do the subtraction. And then it will have a report there too, so that later in the future, if you want to come and check, you can just do that. So once we are done, you click on save and then you save it. Okay, so now we go to purchases. Now the opening stock is used only once because that's your opening stock. That's what you are starting the software with. So let's say you've gotten new stock and then you want to add it into the system. All you have to do is just come to add purchase and then click on add purchase. Okay, so here I just look for the supplier. I think I have one supplier on there, so I just select the supplier and I select the product that I'm buying from the supplier. So let's say I'm buying Adidas from this. I'm buying the black one, and I'm buying 1,000 pieces. So okay, so this is how much I'm supposed to pay the supplier for. So that's about it. Let's say I'm paying it outright. So I don't want to. But okay, so let me try and so that maybe later I can make a payment. So this 20,000 and I'm paying 100,000 for now, so that I can pay later. So here I select the purchases. I've received the goods, and I select the location where the quantity is going to. So in this case, it's going to the shop. So I'll just save. Okay, so now it's showing that the purchase status has been received, but payment status is partial. Partial meaning that I paid 100 and then I'm left with a certain amount, which is 100,000. So if I want to make payment for it, I can just click on add, just like we did for the sales. You can just click on add payment, and then you do that. You just click on add payment. It opens, and then you can enter the payment, then save it. So now let's go back to the products. I want to see if this purchase has been credited to the stock. So I'll go to list products. Okay, so I selected the variation so that it will be accurate. Now it's telling me that I had an opening stock of 20. I made one sale, and now I have a purchase, which is the purchase from my supplier. So my supplier gave me a new quantity, which was 1,000. So now the new quantity is 1,019. Okay, and now it's giving me the reference number too, and then it's telling me the supplier who gave me the items. So with this, it tells you at every level what happened to your stock, whether you had new one coming in or whether you had one going out. And you can always print it and then put it down or give it to somebody, whichever way you want to. Okay, so for those who have multiple locations, let's say maybe you have a shop in Accra, Kumasi, and other different areas, and you've added all of them here, you can do stock transfers. So you are moving it from one location to the other, so that the stock gets deducted from one location and it gets sent to another location. You can use that. Now for stock adjustment, so let's say maybe one of the items get broken and you want to keep records of it, you can use stock adjustment. So you just click on add stock adjustments, and then I select the location. Okay, so you select the location, and then you select the date, and then you select the product. So maybe the iPad, maybe one got broken or something like that. So I'll just select maybe one, and then I'll type the reason. So I'll say got broken. So now I'm adjusting the stock by one. So I'll just save it. Okay. So for contacts, just like we added suppliers, just like we added customers, we have suppliers. You can import contacts and you can do customer groups. So maybe special customers. You know, some people like to group their customers into different types, maybe by location or by a certain discount and offers they give to them. So you can use the customer group to create those segments, and then you add them. Then we come to users. So here you can create roles. Let me click on it, and then we see some of the roles. So you can create, we have admin, cashier. So you can create yours. Let me try adding another, and then let's see. So maybe we have a shop manager or something. We click on. Okay, so we have shop manager, and then we go through the functions. Then we just select the ones that we want for that particular account. So maybe I want the shop manager to view, add, edit, or delete products, add opening stock. And then I go through the functions. I say I want them for purchases, I want them to view, and then add, edit, delete. So you select all of those things, and then you just save it. Okay, so now you can see that I've added a shop manager. Now I can go to users and then create a user. So this is how I add my employees to the system, software. So all the people working in the shop, you can just add them, and then so you can just click on add. Okay, so you just type their names. So maybe John, entry, and their email address. So I give them a name, a username. Okay, then I select the account. So I created shop manager right now. I'm making them a shop manager, and then I select the shop. So assuming I have multiple shops, I just have to select the shop that I want that particular a user to have access to. So in this case, I want them to have access to that crash shop. So that's what I select. And then the other details, you can just add it and then save. Okay, so now I have another user, and the user can log in and then perform functions as I have defined in the rules. Okay, so in the software too, we have accounts. So let's say you can come to list accounts. And with this account, you can connect it to every transaction in the software. So you can have an income account and an expense account or any other account. So maybe if you have your bank accounts and stuff, you can put it there, and then it would work like your bank statement. So you can deposit, you can transfer funds, and then you can connect it to your transaction, so that anytime you are making a transaction, you just select the account it should go into. Now this will help you with your balance sheets, and then your cash flow, and then all your other accounting statements. So you can it's in the software, you can enable it, and then once you enable it, you can just so once you enable it, you can just go through it and then see what is happening in the account. Okay, so this is an example of the shop account. So it tells you all the transactions that happened, who it was added by, the credit, and then the balances and all that. And then here you can come and click on the cash flow, the trial balance, the balance sheets, and it will give you all that. The payment account too, it will give you reports on each account. Yes, so here too you can use that, and then you can get your account reports. Okay, so we can come to reports too. Now we have a lot of reports. We have the profit and loss report, your purchase and sale tax reports, your supply and customer reports, stock reports, items reports, and all that. So sometimes you want different types of reports and all that. So you can just use the site to get any type of report that you want. The activity log too, it tells you every activity that happened in the software. So all your users will have the activity log here. So you just click on that, and it will tell you every function that they performed, the date they performed it, and all that. So I'm using myself as an example. Everything I did here, it is written. It's writing that I added a contact, I edited the contact, I logged in. It's telling you the date and then the time. It's telling you that I sent an SMS notification, I edited the payment, and it's giving me the reference number, and then some details about the transaction. Okay, so with this, you can use it to check what your employees are also doing in the software. Okay, so apart from that, we have other functions. So you have the HRM. So with the HRM, you can use it to payroll, and then the leaves and all that. So you can use that to manage your employees and their payroll. You can generate pay slips. Yeah, so you go through it, and then you just set it up for your employees, and then you can use this to manage their attendance, their payroll, their leave, and then okay, so we also have a CRM in the software where you can manage your leads, you can do follow-ups, and the software is able to send SMS. So you can send both SMS and emails to your customers, and you can just send alerts anytime they make a sale or they buy something. It will just send a message. Then you can also use this to be sending the messages. Maybe you have some certain special messages that you want to be sending to certain customers and all that. You can be using the CRM for that purpose. Okay, so maybe if you have a project too that you are managing, you can use the software to manage some of the projects. You just have to click on new project, and then you start entering them. If you have some tasks and all that, you can just start doing that. You can have assets. There's assets management too. So in case you have some assets in your company too, you can use this part to manage the assets in your company. And then the essentials, like it helps with petty tasks that you feel like you have to do, your memos and reminders and messages and all that. You can do that. And then there's the WooCommerce. Okay, so with the WooCommerce, you can connect it to a WordPress maybe shop or something. Maybe assuming that you are selling online, then you have a website that sells online. You can sync the software to the website, and then anything you have, all the products you have on the software will appear on the website, and then anytime they make a sale or something, it will do the deduction. It will deduct it from the stock. Okay, so you can do that, and then you have an e-commerce site working, and then it will be working with the sales and inventory software. Okay, so now we go to tax rates under settings. Okay, so this is where we can list all the taxes, and then we can group it. So I did an example with NHIL or VAT, and I gave the percentage, and then I grouped it into a tax. So you can also do the same. You can just list all of them here, and then if you want to have different groups, you do that here, so that when you are entering your products or making it, so you can select the type of tax that applies to the sale. Okay, and then now let's go to invoice settings. So just click on default. And then here you can change the designs of the receipt. So currently we are using the classic for normal printers, but if in case you are using a thermal printer or the small printers, you can just use the slim or the slim 2, and the 2 would work very well for thermal printers, the small printers. But if it's a normal printer, you can just use the classic, the elegant, or the details, and that would also work. And then at the same place, you can determine, or you can decide what should show on the receipt. So if maybe you don't want certain fields to show on the receipt, you can just uncheck it. If you want something to show on the footer, you can just, and then here you can the fields to be shown. So if you don't want you want certain things to show or certain things not to show, you can just select it and then you save. Okay, so here you can even upload your logo, the invoice logo, and then check if you want it to show on the receipt. Okay, so now let's go to business settings. Okay, so with the business settings, you can change certain things. So maybe a transaction edit date. You know, in our system, we have a minimum of 30 days, where after the 30 days you can't edit a transaction, but you can change it to any day. So if you want to do it for a year, you can just change it to 365, which is for a year. Then you can edit the transaction for that period till after that period, and that will be it. Then you can make certain changes as well. So we go to the product, and then you enable maybe product expiry or something like that. Okay, for POS 2 you can also come and say maybe if you want to enable or disable something, you can just do that over here. Okay, and then you can send notifications too, so either through email or SMS. So this is where you type most of the notification messages. Okay, so when you make a new sale, when payment is received, payment reminders and all that, you can just, so here I can say that okay, so auto send an SMS, maybe auto send email. And this is the message. So dear contact, and thank you for shopping with us. But you can edit it to your taste and then use the different tags. So these are some of the tags that you're allowed to use. So in case you want to use that, you can just use that in the message, and then your customers will receive the message. Once you add their phone number to the contact, they'll get the message on their phones. Okay, and then for products too, you can print labels. So here maybe if for the iPad like this, I can decide to print barcode label. So assuming I don't have a barcode label and I want to print, I can just print a barcode label for that product. Okay, so that is it. So I can print it and then stick it on the product, and then I can use the barcode scanner to scan it and it will work. So our system works with any barcode scanner or any barcode scanner you have, whether the Bluetooth or the USB. Use it when selling, you can use it when adding products, you can use it when counting stock. And then on the dashboard too, it gives you some alerts and notifications. So when you come here to list sales that are due, product stock alerts. So here it will list all the stock that are expiring very soon. And then if there are any pending shipments, pending sales orders, it will show all of them here. So if there are some purchases due and then some sales payment due, it will list them.